Okay, we're now live. Welcome, 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 everybody, and thanks for joining us. I've actually got Joey in the studio with me now. We had a glitch, we had a techno problem, and then we thought we fixed it, and he tried to get back in, and it wouldn't let him in, and blah, blah, blah. Everybody has techno stuff.
My Firefox needed a plug-in.
A pleasure. Okay. So we're gonna
be back after I think about a year's absence from being on the air.
Oh wow.
And it's a nice, warm, sunny day in Florida.
Awesome. Is it humid?
I can't feel it. I've been living in air conditioning the entire summer.
Yay for AC. I don't know who invented that, but they were genius. Some things we take for granted, but I love my AC. I wouldn't be able to handle 120-degree temperatures for 14, 15 days in a row. And it does cool off at night, 108, 109. So, wouldn't be able to handle that without the AC.
So, actually, and dealing with the electronics, the technical issues going on because for whatever reason, they seem to go ahead and glitch, whether your Mercury is in retro or whatever it's doing, and at the same time you're dealing with the energy levels and then the heat and the solar flares or whatever is going on. It's kind of like hard. There's so much happening energetically now. It's kind of difficult to keep up at any point. So we need those breaks. And I think that I pretty much believe that what the universe does, it slows us down, and you get those afternoon sleepy moments. So that it slows you down, so that you can take time to integrate that higher energy, higher vibration that you just incorporated. And that's the only way that the world, you're going to ascend within one body. And
exactly.
I know the word ascension has been used a lot, and one of the epiphanies that I had together, if you recall, Teresa, recently, is that why we feel these moments that we feel all these symptoms of illness, decay, or tiredness, and all these kind of symptoms that I thought that they were going to go. And yeah, they did go in 2012, but they kind of got changed. And there is a benefit to them in the long run. The epiphany that I remember mentioning to you, which I want to be very clear about, is that, of course, we can go, if we are to ascend in physical form, which we have, and we're in 5D, but if we're to ascend fully, basically, we have to go through those little, what I call little tiny death experiences where you have those oh God moments. And we're living in a time where there's a lot of tumult. I'm sorry, excuse me. We're forgetting our line of speech sometimes. We're doing a lot of typos. Don't blame yourself. These are things that I was noticing that I wanted to cover, and I cover and in this show together, and also advise the people not to be afraid. This is a time to really trust your heart, and at times you need a friend to reach out if you feel that you can't do it by yourself. I have Teresa, and sometimes we all have swords inside, but you sometimes need a physical person, and that's where her and I come in, and that's why we do the work that we do, which we're going to get into further. We're going to get into maybe like a small synopsis of what we do, because there's so much that we do that we're going to need to, like slightly break it down. Now, in order for us to be able to bring these shows to you, we appreciate any kind of donations, and and Teresa will announce that later. She does that so well. She's very good at announcing where to, and my email and her email, and basically so that, and we will post different locations on her website and my website so that we can continue to give you this free information as we experience it. Because everything, Teresa's 24/7 on it, and I'm pretty much 24/7 working on ourselves so that we can experience it and then give you the information of what it feels like, and when we get to the next level, what the current energies are going on. Speaking of the current energies, I want to speak about the new harvest moon, including the photon belt, which is bringing us, we're in it. It was announced in September 22. A follow-up, I would say, and the channel was pretty good at bringing up the follow-up because this was something that I kind of like I had to read, and I go, this rings a bell, and it's something that was prophesied from the Mayans back in 1992 in a book. So in other words, it's already established information. It's just being brought back so that we can remember. And now that we have internet and so many people being able to hear and understand, the photon belt, what it does is it's putting the ego in the back burner. It's not going to go away, and the heart forward, and it's not going to happen overnight. So it's causing a lot of inner changes, kind of like the ascension as well. And one of the things that I've noticed is that it's brought us to a moment in time for many of the people that including myself and Teresa, that we speak to, that is in letting go and cutting the ties that are binding you, literally, sometimes with people, either approaching them or not approaching them, but not accepting, nor being in parts where you're, how can I say, brought down in energy vibration. And basically, sometimes you do have family things. We're all having different individual situations going on at the time. Some people have family situations that are coming up to the surface, old situations. We're all on our own individual journey, yet we're on the same path to the same destination. So if you want a more personalized consultation, that's where we could go ahead and help you out, unless you've already mastered getting in contact with your intuitive view. But you may want to clarify that, because there's a lot of symptoms in these situations that I can actually see clairvoyantly what's going on in your body. And Teresa has the talent of scanning into your body and being able to see exactly where to do it and also remove it.
Yay.
I will vouch for that. She actually helped me about 5 days ago, at a point where I just wasn't picking up what was keeping me where I was, and it just it helped me to make some major decisions. It took me my effort, my work, to put what came through together into practice, and that's basically what's going to happen with you. We can't do it with you, but we can bring it towards doing it, and we can actually do some quick removals of blockages. And other things that maybe stuck to you, pattern programmings. Teresa is very much into the business of coaching, and she's also makes and crafts the tools, such as gemstones, tools to heal yourself, bracelets, necklaces, in the form of many different patterns.
I have a whole new line of stuff coming out that was just like, it took me a whole year to have that baby, as they say. It was tough too, because I had to let go, like you're talking about. I had to let go of some things in order to get the clearest, most beautiful thing that would work, whether I'm attached to it or not. I mean, anybody could pick it up and do it. And you know, you were talking about of the services that we have available, and we do. And I know you have a wonderful way of teaching Reiki to people, and I might not say that right, but that's how I say it. And also your angel course is so cool. It's so cool. I mean, you have an innate gift for, sometimes I'll call you up and I'm on it. I'm in it with my stuff. But sometimes there's a little trail of something or distraction or whatever, and you're like, you know, don't make such a big deal out of this. This is just one of the angels or one of the masters that's trying to get your attention, Teresa, and this is what you do. And we have a really good communication, because we put a lot of attention into making ourselves available to one another, and to making a friendship that was on the highest and easiest caliber, but that it's everyday and ordinary and just fun. You know, it's cool. We have a cool relationship. So I just wanted to throw that in there. I did get a couple of messages where they said that everybody is transforming. How do you know? How do you know if you're transforming? How do you? Well, because you feel like you're banging your head against the wall, for one, over certain subjects that, say, you know, since 2012 you've had them mastered. When you went through the 12 and the 12-21-12 gateway, if you will, you had a time of bliss, of joy, of happiness. So some people had a time of feeling let down because of what they put into that whole event. So we all had to learn something. We had to grow. We had to expand. We had to bring on more light quotient. And so this brings us to not only the services that we have, but also what do you have? What do you have to bring to the table for Joey and I? How can we help you expand your business, your spiritual life, so that it is a business, so that it's not just part of you, so that other people can benefit it? You know, I have some light workers that I deal with that they used to be pretty rough characters, and just the simple fact that they're smiling at you when you see them on the street and not reaching for a gun is a really big improvement in their lives. And but that's me. That's the world I came from. You know, that's the world that I would love to shine the light in, but I have to be very discerning and very eloquent about how I go there. You know, and I don't. You know, like Joey, we don't just have one type of person that we help because it's based on what we know best, which is our past. No, we are just pure and open and clear channels to do whatever we believe individually or corporately that Spirit wants us to do, that our Creator wants us to do. And our Creator is like the diamond center of our heart. It's like the best, most awesome thing that our little human brains, we can't even take this stuff up. You know, we can't copy somebody else because we're just not that kind of person. You know, everything has to be alive and fresh and flowing and glowing, if you will. And so, but how do you what is the word, capitalize? No, how do you feed yourself? You know, like I have this wonderful coach that he tells, he says, it's really hard to be a light in the world when you can't pay your light bill. It's just, you know, think about that. Here you are, this shining beacon of the universe, and you cannot pay your bills. You know, you have all this fear centered around it. You have fear around relationships. You have fear around, do you channel? Do you channel anymore? If you don't, why? Have you dealt with why? You know, there's a whole lot of billions of things going on with everybody right now, and we just want to help you. We just want to love you and help you and give you a little direction, a little pat on the back. We want to let you know you're not alone. I know many people have been writing and saying they've been feeling like they're all alone again, but they just know a lot more now. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see what we can do to undo that and get you back, get your focus back. And as Joey was sharing, that's you know, one of the things that I've been gifted in helping people through the masters and my guides and the archangels is that, you know, I might not know their names and I might not know, you know, what timeline they're from or any of that stuff.
You know their engine.
Yeah, but I know their love. I know that love. I know when they're trying to say something to me, and that's why I value your friendship, Joey, because you always know who I'm talking to.
I've been knowing it for years by now. I should know, and sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
I asked you about one thing that you mentioned about, you know, channeling and stopping channeling, if I heard you correctly. Okay. This one thing, one of the notes that I had, I myself, I'm glad to be back because I took a break from channeling for a while because I was beginning, that's where I was. I needed to know who I was, who I am, and not to continuously channeling pieces, trans-channeling pieces that said, I am so-and-so, I am Melchizedek. I am, that's already very good and dandy. They're still there. It doesn't mean because you're not actively trans-channeling but you gotta like give your mind a break. And it
Mhm.
takes for a time there. While it was necessary, I was getting transmission uh, for the whole world, and that kind of like stopped. They wanted me to stop and took me into a more personal trading part, and
Mhm.
those are the times where I said, "Oh, Teresa, I don't think that I don't have the connection." And again, one of the things that I learned throughout the years is that also I was trying to force and use old tools, and they were not working. And even though I was becoming aware by the studies that I was doing with other good light workers um, and bad light workers, because there are both. There's the darkness within the light, and that's something that's coming to the forefront right now. I had to clear a lot of um, some other light workers are kind of stuck in the way they used to do things, and it's not working anymore. So
Mhm.
we're coming across, and I like to help these light workers. Is not to put them down or up. There is no down or up. We're talking ascension time. It's basically they're going around in circles, just questioning the same thing, and why isn't it working? And
Right.
if it's not working, it's because you need to do it in a new way. But tune into the same work. Your intuition is still trying to get a hold of you in one way or another, and you're undergoing some form of transformation. And if it's bothering you emotionally and psychically or physically, and it may manifest like an illness or discomfort, I took it a long, long, long break. And it was my year was basically about taking care of myself. Um, Thankfully, there was nothing wrong with me that I actually, because I went to doctors, taking care of my eyes, taking care of my feet. I also went to doctors, and they claimed I had the high blood pressure. But with one channeling of the Archangel Michael, when he took over to do a healing on a client of mine, that blood pressure was gone. So it just so happens that when I went to the doctor, that was there, and I would have been on the medication with all the side effects, blah 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 blah. And I'm not a party to picketing or let's say making a big brouhaha about big pharma and all that kind of stuff. That's I leave that to other people. I know that it's there and I'm aware, but if I'm going to focus on all those things that are not available, like GMO, I know that those things exist, and we live with that. We already have enough our head. Just do the best you can. I mean, try
Right.
like
Pray over your food, people. It's important. You know, the don't take even like what you were saying, you took some time off. I did too. I got to where I didn't even want to eat anything because I had to establish intent. Why was I eating? Well, because we eat, and this might sound really moronic, but there, if you catch the principle of this, it's very dynamic. It's very empowering. It's very powerful.
at the same time, the thing is that our taste in food is changing.
Changed. Yeah.
And I'm not the only one who said that. I just heard someone, a wonderful lady that I can't remember her name today, mention the same thing. The same thing is that with change in your within yourself, within your soul, getting to know more of your soul, and with each, your all of you changes, including your taste buds, and
Exactly.
don't want to eat the same things. So you can't force it, but you see kind of like the ascension process, but it just naturally is occurring. As far as the 2012, a lot of people got disappointed because they were expecting an overnight thing. Nothing is an overnight thing. You know, when a seed is planted, the prophecy starts. You know, you got to do the work. Nobody's going to come and rescue you, but that doesn't mean play the victim role. You may feel like a couple days of playing the victim role, and that's okay. Feel your mood. Feel the extreme of your what do you call it? Your emotions. You have to walk through it. This is a time that we're actually not being given a chance to put it in the back burner. If we're going to ascend and rise up above governments and GMOs and all this kind of stuff, we need to work on a consistent basis. And that's why we work per appointment as much as you can handle at a time, especially if you're new. Um, in the title of what we do, we're not going to force you, because if you're a light worker, you already come with some pretty preset tools and a divine blueprint, which is yours alone. So we have to tap into you and feel your energy, feel your aura, and in order to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the ugly, of course, is your release and how to do it. And then, so sometimes things, that's why workshops and a subscription basis it's better than ending up at a shrink and paying 3 times the amount in medications and God knows what else. It's to see at least once a month if you want to go into once a month program. Almost all my clients, I like to empower them and teach them how to reach themselves. For me, what I mean by empowerment is teach them an extra sense, help them get in contact with their angelic self, their starseed self, whatever they were, so that when they're not with me, they can make contact and reach out themselves. They may not feel them right away, but at least they go home with a tool.
Exactly. And I work on my situation here this time around, and I know they've given me until like May or June of next year, where this time will be set aside for people that I help, clients that I help. This time around will be more fine-tuning of scanning their entire 5-body system all at once and saying, this is a little plan, this works. You got to be the one responsible for the energy that I get, that I bring to you, and the information that I give to you, that I present to you. And there's ways that they can be accountable to do that. I have a couple of different programs available for them, and so that's the good thing about that. Now, there was one thing that I wanted to bring up. Let me find it. I'll find it. Let's see. And also, how can they know their blueprint? How can they know their destiny? How can they know their fate? Or these little key buzzwords. How can they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing? Well, this is part of scanning your system and hooking you up with somebody that can teach you what you know, that can show you in a non-evasive, non-threatening way, which Joy is excellent at doing. There's no reason and there's no time to be embarrassed for being the light that you are, or for feeling the way that you feel. In the light or out of the light, in the shadows. Basically, I have a whole entire course on working with your own shadow self that's available for $397. It's a 30-day program, but it takes you, you can stretch it out to 100 days worth of your work. If you're having trouble focusing in on your calendar, that you're the one filling up your calendar, mind you. If you're having trouble focusing, if you're avoiding certain types of people, if you're avoiding certain topics, like I don't want to do the dishes, and even if you don't have a business, if you're just not managing your life the way that you want to behind the scenes, you need some help, and I would love to help you. And I know Joey would too. We held back. Hold on. We held back for, the last 2 years. We've held back to make sure that we were ready for the public, that we were ready for people, and that we had treated ourselves the most loving and gentle and kindest way that we knew how to do. And then some. We learned some more. We remembered. We reconnected to Source in our own ways, and we honor that ability in everybody. No, we don't care what your religion or your denomination is, or your denomination for that matter. I just care about your soul and the condition of your soul.
And how much fun your soul is having.
Yeah, fun.
If you use your mind sometimes too much to try and figure too much out at one time and don't rest it, then you gotta figure out how much fun your soul is wanting to have. And
Yeah.
that's the idea. I mean, uh, there are some moments that are going to be serious, but some joy, you need to leave time for joy and laughing, even if it means even if it means of being on your own, because
Mm-hmm.
usually you don't have somebody that enjoys the same sense of humor, and you feel like being goofy, completely crazy goofy. You can do it, and we need those times right now because we're learning a lot and we're going at a very accelerated pace. And phew, we're almost out of October. I'm sorry, September.
September, yeah.
Sorry for the confusion there in the month, but anyhow, we're almost out of September because it's been like some trying months. Energetically, I see everybody posting like little. Uh, they, I've been seeing postings, sayings, and myself included, these people receiving disappointments
Uh-huh.
from what we call regular 3D people to ourselves. Everybody's awakening. The massive awakening that's happening is incredible. And the first recognition is saying, I need help to figure what's going on and trusting that oneself. And what's happening is that we're outgrowing also sometimes friendships that have been around for a very long time. In my case, even if it is a New Age artist, a person can be a New Age artist for life, a medium, a master, but they'll still have the challenges and still have to go through the same thing. So you don't know exactly how long it's going to last, but you can get really burnt and disappointed, and you have to go through the grieving process, the restoration process, the acceptance process, and then the rebirth process all over again. And
Exactly.
all of those people just let go, and sometimes just let go completely. And after it's been some years, just let go completely and be brave enough to face it. That just don't serve you and don't inspire you. As far as for me, I have felt like a big, great boost forward with the help of Teresa of being able to see a very valuable archangel who I had heard the name but I never worked with for me. I won't say the name, but that's mine. None of business. When it's your session, will be yours, though. It's beautiful, beautiful piece. And it reminded me of having my own wings. Which part of my angelic course is just showing you how to use your own metaphorical and real wings, which is really pretty much your a part of your higher self. And once you know that, you actually come back. Your whole vibrational pull becomes more. How can I say? More empowered, more secure. Um, right now, it's like it's time to go slowly, allow things to manifest. Don't push if it's not occurring. I know we all say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're going to start new projects and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But then we have so many projects that we're going to we kind of talked about getting started and then we're exhausted and we wonder why. We spend so much time planning and not doing. And it's okay because it's time to relax. You're going to have time for you're going to need time to regroup yourself depending on your situation. And you may be working a 9 to 5 job, working the system, and deal with that, and then come home and be able to do your homework. But don't worry, everybody's going to get it together. But sooner or later, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you're working, for yourself, by or for some, in the system, and as long as it's going to last, because it's not, I feel it's not going to be too long. Um, it's gonna, it's still workable. It's still workable. But
Yeah.
pay
And all
attention.
the downloads everybody's gotten for the last 4 or 5 years, all the training, all the dimensional shifting and the galactic stuff, all of that stuff, it all has a meaning for today, for 2014. And don't be so hard on yourselves. It's okay if you don't know, because you really do. And sometimes it's just a matter of renewing the mind. You know how you have to refresh your page on your computer. It's a matter of refreshing your mind and allowing yourself to hear yourself you know, by little exercises and whatnot. So we have like 5 minutes left. Joy, you want to give everybody your web page and your digits there, my friend?
Yeah. I would like people to actually get the emails first. Reiki, Reiki, healing, Healing, hand at AOL.com. That's mine. And Teresa's is breath of Terra, Terra. Breath is like you breathe. Breath of Terra, Terra.
You got it.
We'll post a link. My website is templeoftheiam.webs.com. And try it without with the www in the front or without. Even myself, I'm not sure exactly how it works. And Teresa's got a brand new one as well. And on Facebook, I'm also known as Emanuel Solars Ariasis. That is my angelic name that I found for myself since 1992. Although now Reverend Joe Emanuel and those two names are coming together. But if you find Facebook, Emanuel Solars Ariasis, you will find me.
Awesome. And my website is breathofterra.com. I have an email for the Spirit Rock newsletter that comes out when it comes out. I'm not going to spam your email. You can sign up for that so that I know that you want to hear from me. Everybody wants to hear from you. Everybody wants to be heard, believe it or not. Even loners, there are times where they just want to be heard. I have gotten some excellent reports that I may just get some permission from one client to. I was given a divine, you know, for everybody kind of thing that I documented, and I decided to use that for the content of my newsletter, so that number one, it would help people, number two, it would help me. So it's a basic stone meditation. No, it's not a meditation when you're stoned. No. It is an awesome exercise that you can do anywhere. You can even do it when you're driving. It doesn't cost, you know, and people are having really profound experiences. They're having really good experiences with it. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We got like 2 minutes left, Joey. What's happening in 2 minutes?
I want to point out what most people point out, because I forget that this is going to be on YouTube. So all that information that we gave you, if you miss writing it, the link is down below.
Right.
I forget to do that. The link is down below to reset myself. And basically, I also want you to treat you to, I'll be working with the 5 bodies with these lovely babies, and I got a lot more in the
Amen.
Teresa makes the jewelry. I actually use the big babies, and we'll be putting them on your body. This one goes on the crown. No, not to knock you out, but kind of like zoom you up. Be
awesome.
Glad, have fun, laugh enough, just like we are right now, and basically the way we spoke to you like now, we gave you the introduction, but this is come back to the hangout, because this is the time that we laugh every day, and you can be a part of it too, okay? Because spirituality doesn't mean it has to be so serious, okay? We want to be serious so that you can pay attention to the important parts, but from Teresa Sixberry of Breath of Terra and Reverend Joey Emanuel of the Temple of the I Am, we greet you, we thank you, we bless you, and we behold the source in you.
Awesome. We love you guys. Thank you, Joey, for coming on with me. We're doing it. We're kicking it out. I love you guys, and thanks for joining Breath of Terra Broadcast Live. Peace.